what should people be worrying about or thinking about today when they specify steel on their projects?
Definitely. It's something that can be done today, and that is specifying steel that conforms to an international standard. So an example of that is responsible steel. Yes, this is the responsible steel, the international standard that was published last September, version 2. And what they've done is responsible steel covers 13 principles that is not only greenhouse gas emissions, but covers social and governance and the whole ESG spectrum. And they have come up with 4 progress levels, starting right from the top, progress level 1, which is the basic, the black line, the basic threshold. So what you could do on your projects today is specify steel that would conform to the greenhouse gas emissions intensity being below progress level 1 today. And that's possible. Like Roger mentioned, that in the UK specifically, the emissions intensity is 2.4 tons per ton of crude steel. And if you can see the progress level 1, it starts at around, I think, 2.8. So a lot of UK steel makers could be below progress level 1.
So just dig into what this graph just tell us what this graph is showing. So what's on the 2 different axes?
Oh, yes, of course. So you've got the greenhouse gas emissions intensity of crude steel on the y-axis, and there's a scrap share of metallic inputs on the x-axis. So it's a sliding scale whereby if you've got 0 scrap share, so it's 100% primary-based steel making, then that would start at 2.8 tons per ton of crude steel and go down to about 0.35 for 100% scrap share. That's just progress level 1. And the idea is that with basically, as we transition the steel industry, the progress level 1 will drop off, and then you aim to go below progress level 2 and 3, and then subsequently to progress level 4, right at the bottom, which is the near zero emissions level. So what you could do today is, you could start with saying, yes, okay, we want all our steel from steel makers that are meeting below progress level 1. And then make it more ambitious incrementally by saying, okay, by 2025, we want to procure at least 50% of our steel that's below progress level 2. By 2030, 100% that's below progress level 2. By 2035, maybe 50% below progress level 3. So you could make that incremental decision to specify steel in that manner.
So what you're doing with this graph is you're basically saying, look, we don't mind how much scrap is in it, because we know it's constrained, and so there's no point us trying to redivert it. But if you don't have access to very much scrap, we're going to rate you differently in terms of what we expect from you on greenhouse gas emissions terms to if you have access to a lot of scrap. And so if you've got 2 manufacturers, both with 0% scrap, it doesn't really happen, but if it was 0, and one of them was emitting 2.8 tons of carbon per ton of steel, and the other one was emitting 2.6, there's that difference, and that helps you sort of prioritize that.
Yes.